It's funny. I'm just a couple weeks into this acting experiment with my kids, and it's tough, man, because we were told, hey, just so you know, the first couple weeks are kind of Lord of the Flies. There might be some kids. There might be some kids that get voted off the island because they're not a good fit for the model. There might be some blood because little boys sometimes like to fight. But we will figure it out together, and we will set a course for a class constitution and a set of rules that we live by. And when the kids set those rules, they're going to be okay, right? And so as a parent who's used to, are they at grade level? How are they going to do on the standardized test? How do I know they're even learning how to read? It's really a leap of faith to be like, I'm putting my most precious commodity in the hands of something that in its current form has only been around about 12 years. Obviously, this is kind of a return to the old school schoolhouse.
Bingo.
Yeah, there you go.
So, and it's that, man, and not just the old school schoolhouse. It's just the return. I don't care if you think we were created, we evolved, whatever. Humans learn by doing. We always have.
Yep.
Public school conveyor belt model, that is the 100-and-something-year-old experiment, and it's an experiment that already showed that it failed, right? I don't remember who said it, but somebody said something along the lines of, it would only take one generation of sending our kids to school at 6 months old before you had an entire population of parents who believed wholeheartedly that their kids would never learn to walk unless they went to school. Because that's where they learn to walk. You send them at 6 months, and eventually 6 months or a year goes by, and that's where they learn to walk. There's no way they would have done that at home.
Right.
Right? Because that's what our whole generation has done, and that's what we grew up doing, and so that's what we know. That's what we're facing here. So what Acton does is it returns to the reality of humans learn by doing. And the whole school thing is, again, the antithesis of growth for a person.
So by that theory, which I love that kind of analogy, by that theory, what we're really saying is the kids that do come out of public school that are exceptional, or the learning that does go on during K through 12, that's happening in spite of the school, not because of it.
Not because of. That's right. That's exactly right. And that's what I always tell people. Oh, well, you know what? I went to public school, or I went to conveyor belt school, and I turned out fine. I hear that all the time. Cool. First of all, fine sucks. My life is not fine. If I asked you, Scott, man, how are you and your wife? How are you guys doing? And you went, fine. What does that tell? That
tells you everything you need to know.
That's exactly right. How's your relationship with your kids? That's fine. That tells me everything I need to know. So I don't want my life to be fine. I sure as hell don't want my kids' life to be fine. All right. I have no desire for fine. So first of all, fine sucks. Second of all, it's exactly what you said. It's, you are doing well or having success in spite of, not because of. So imagine if you had been able to be more intentional about putting yourself on a better trajectory. I put it to people like this. If I fed my kids nothing but McDonald's breakfast, lunch, and dinner for the first 18 years of their life, at 18, would they still be alive? Yeah, most likely. Most likely they would, and they'd be fine. But is that optimal health for them?
Right.
Sure as hell isn't. And then what's going to happen after that when they go off on their own? Chances are McDonald's is all they know, man. And that's really kind of what they're going to feel comfortable with. It's what they're going to be used to. It's what they're going to want. It's what they're going to crave. It's what they're going to. And so now I'm setting them up in this trajectory where that's the kind of shit they're going to eat for the rest of their lives, right? Imagine if I had been more intentional about making sure they got nothing but good food early on. And then, and experiences around that, it's a different story. It's the same kind of thing with this.
Yeah, what we're really talking about is like the childhood compound effect, right? That's right. I have a really good friend. We come from about the same socioeconomic background. We did Boy Scouts together. He played soccer and I wrestled. Like, we had a very similar childhood, but there was a few little tweaks. Like, his parents set up some responsible money habits and allowances and things of that nature. Mine did not. My parents always fought about money. And there was a few little health tweaks that, like, in their house, there just wasn't juice or soda. It was like, you drink milk or water, that's it, period, the end. And now, fast forward, we're both in our mid-40s. I'm a little fatter and a little less healthy than him. I drink some sodas, I eat some Oreos. He's a fireman in great shape. And he's, even though I've probably out-earned him because of the industry that I chose, he's more fiscally responsible. He's got cooler toys because it just these little tiny childhood compound effects. And of course, every parent's going to screw up their kid somehow. There's some stuff my parents gave me where I've, outperformed him. So I'm not saying that it's just this one way road, but it's like, it's so powerful. What habits are we instilling in our kids when they're young?